I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Allie. We're the misFITmamas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah,
It's not a shot. Good God.
It's, you can take the girl out of the bar. You can't take the bar out of the girl.
True that. True that. This tastes good.
Oh yeah, that's good
I'm
stuff.
drinking Moscato,
I am drinking Cab.
which is weird.
I know. I don't know. I've been on a red wine kick the last
What's heartburn?
today. It's just been today. I don't drink all the time. At least not all the kids are awake. Anyways.
Okay, so thank you guys for jumping in and watching our first live. It was fun. It was really fun to kind of sit back and watch it and interact with you guys when it was streaming.
Yep.
This is so...
It's still really new for us, still really awkward, but it was really fun. It was really fun to watch everyone that watched the premiere with us. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It was really nice to get to kind of chat with some of you guys. We got a lot of really nice messages on the YouTube channel and on our Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
I'm overwhelmed with, the amount of response has been.
I didn't expect any to be 100%. Well, I expected like comments and stuff, but I didn't expect people to reach out to me and let us know like, oh my gosh, I love this, or this really resonated with me.
Yeah, I expected like my grandma to be like, I love it, great job guys, but I didn't expect nearly the amount of response that we got. So thank you so much.
That was super encouraging. I think it let us know that what we're doing is really panning out.
Yeah.
Panning out.
Yeah.
How we wanted to.
Yes.
I'm taking another drink now.
Yes. So, touching on a couple of the messages that we got today, I received a message from a really good friend of mine, longtime friend, and she, expressed how proud she was of us for doing this and actually doing something that we've dreamed about doing. I'm feeling the wine already, one sip in, cut her off. But she just told us how proud of us she was for following something that we've talked about, like we said last week, for so long. And actually doing it, for years. And so actually doing it was really inspiring to her, which was really, really nice to hear. But she also said that she teared up a little because there was a couple of things that we said in our first video, I guess, that really resonated with her. And she said, one of the things that she said was, she has this adorable picture of her adorable little baby, but she was afraid to post it because she said he looked like a ragamuffin and was sitting on a dirty patio floor. And so I sent her some pictures of our kids, and I was like, dude, this is real life. Our kids aren't always clean, and they are always into something, and they are not always clothed, and
not always clothed at all.
No, my son is, now that he's a little bit older, he's gotten a little bit more modest, but he was always naked when he was like 2. He would run around the house.
The door and it's like,
everything off. Which I get it, but
totally.
Wish it was
totally.
Small doses in my bedroom. Anyways, so that was something that when she said that to us, we both started talking about it, and we wanted to touch on that because, both of us have fallen guilty to wanting everything to picture perfect and not wanting to take a picture with the laundry in the background or whatever.
Or you're like, oh, wait, hold on. You go move it. You go push it out of the way or put them in another spot.
Put a floral arrangement in the back just for good measure. Why though?
Lighting, open the blinds, whatever.
Wait, face this way, face this way.
But then by the time you get there in that camera view to take that picture, that moment, 9 times out of 10 it's gone. It was long gone when you stepped away to go move the laundry.
Right. And then you're trying to force your kids to go back to what you were doing. Look at your sister or whatever it was that was super cute. And it's forced or it's gone and they won't do it. So I think one of the things that has been really important to me in the last several years, since the same friend told me just to take a bunch of pictures. Take pictures of everything. because, I mean, it gives me goosebumps just to
I
say,
like
but
that.
you never know when that's going to be the last time you see somebody. And God forbid anything bad happens to anyone that we love or anyone that you guys love.
Yeah.
But sometimes things happen, and this world is scary right now. And taking pictures is really, really, really important. It doesn't always have to be perfect.
No.
Post it anyway.
Save it.
Save it at least. But you're not always going to look the way you want to look. You know, I mean, I'm so self-conscious about my body still. And it's something I struggle with every day. But, you know, I'm here. I'm on camera because we are here right now. And this is when we can do the things that we want to do. We dream about doing.
And I think that really pushes on the normalized normal. And that conversation even came about when we were sitting here talking about what our goals were, or like what we hoped to do or encourage with our videos. And I was like, I want to normalize normal, because I feel like I don't want to say I have to put on a show or I have to put on an act, because it's not. Those are genuine things that I do, but the couch doesn't always have to have the pillows perfect, or the laundry doesn't always have to be scooted out of the way, or, you know.
There will be goldfish crumbs on the floor sometimes.
Under the couch.
Yeah, just sweep it under the couch.
Right over there. But that was something that I personally became super absorbed with, was trying to make it appear to everybody that, man, I really like cuss.
We can always censor it out.
I got my shit together. Like,
Yeah.
I got this. I'm rocking it. I got 5 tiny humans and we're in bed by 8 o'clock. Heck to the yeah. But in reality, it's like there was screaming, there was crying, there was diapers, there was
no diapers.
Imagine when you drop a bag of marbles and then all the marbles go everywhere. That's my children at bedtime. And it's not always that cute little picture that I post on Snapchat or I post on Instagram of my little babies sleeping in their beds. That's not really what led up to it. Like, so it gives this idea, or this, what's that word? It gives
perspective. I don't know what word you're.
I know it gives the picture that like that my shit's together, and I mean it's together. The suitcase is bulging, but it's together. But I think that.
But it's part of growth too. And
yes,
we're not perfect yet. We probably will never be, but we strive to. I will never be, but I'm fine with that. No, but it's something that we continue to work on every day, and to get better and better and better. And better doesn't mean perfect.
No, it isn't. It means growth. And so I think we really loved the feedback on the normalized normal, because it's not even like the new normal of like what this quarantine is doing to our lives now, but more so of like what's happening in the home as a mom, or what's happening to us as individuals who are missing our social construction and just needing that. Like it's about opening the doors to like, hey, this is my life, not this little room in the corner that's clean, but the laundry over there, the dishes in the sink, the laundry still in the dryer from yesterday. Like,
oh, I think I forgot to switch mine. Probably.
But like, that's what we're wanting to encourage, is that it's normal. It's okay. Totally cool. Like, I've got it. She's got it. I'm sure one of y'all have it. Like, it's okay. Embrace that.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide it.
And I know, like, you've probably seen a lot of, the Facebook articles, like the one you posted most recently about how you want your friends to just come over,
Yep, come as you are.
No shoes, PJs, that's cool with me. I mean, whatever it is. And like we said last week, we are a come as you are type of friendship. And sometimes I might pull up with like twigs sticking out of my hair, and then sometimes I might actually take time to look, presentable. But that's okay.
Make it at some point.
And and thank you. But the normalized normal that we really want to encourage is like whatever your normal is totally okay. And we've probably all been through something similar at some point. And I mean, like Ali said last week, we are polar opposites in a lot of ways, but yet we still have the same struggles at bedtime. We still have, all of that. And it's not the picture you post on your kids finally sleeping. It's what happened the hour prior to that, you know, like when
Which
did
hour?
you give in and give the melatonin gummies like I did tonight? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, but you know,
vitamins.
yeah, night vitamins.
They're needed sometimes.
Every once in a while, you know, we had a long last few days, and it was bedtime was not happening tonight without them. So, but that's okay. And
And
you
your
know,
normal, did you already say this? Like, your normal doesn't have to be my normal is not her normal.
right?
And we each have our own normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay that our normals are different because
Yeah.
that's okay.
We work different jobs, different hours. We have different things, different roles that are important to both of us that might not be important
Different
to the other.
personalities.
Yeah.
And a lot of that. Absolutely.
The different ways of handling issues as they come up. She's helping me a lot.
She's helping me a lot.
I'm this strict, like, no, you're gonna do it because that's what I said to do. And she's like, okay, well, maybe if we talk about it, maybe we can negotiate a little bit. And if you do this for me, then I'll do this in return for you. So she's a little bit more, what's the word? Like,
Flexible.
I guess, which is
But I've
not really
learned
something
that.
I would consider.
But I'm, in a lot of things, I'm not flexible.
Right.
So I'm very, do as I say. I asked you to do it. You better just hippity hop and get to it. But I've learned a lot from other
Yeah.
people with their normals, how to do those things.
Yeah.
And just as there's been times that I've come to you, I feel like I'm talking with my hands.
It's the Italian in you. We both have that Mediterranean blood flowing through.
But it's our normals can coincide to an extent to where we're able to relate. We pick up other things or
And learn from each other.
absolutely
All the time.
totally. I think too, and if you don't want to get into this, it's totally cool. But like, I'm getting into it.
I'm scared. Go
How
on.
many times have we had this conversation?
Yeah, right.
I've had previous relationships where I have felt like the entire eye of everybody I know is on me and watching me. Not necessarily wanting me to fail, but like more so expecting me to fail because of how much I had on my plate. And so I felt the pressure to not normalize my normal, but to normalize or to portray the fact, that is the word I was looking for
I
earlier.
thought about it like 2 seconds after you said it earlier, and I was like, oh, it's too late.
But to portray the fact that my house is always clean. We have a chore chart, like they shower, every other day. Like they don't. I don't know if I should talk about it. I had a child who was bathing and they still stunk really, really bad after the shower. And it was getting to the point to where even the teacher at school was like, can you send us some like deodorant or maybe like a change of clothes after PE and I'm like looked over at my spouse at the time and I was like, he showers every day. Like we make him shower in the morning and night sometimes. Like we can take him to the doctor. And I called the doctor and the doctor was like, well, is he washing with soap? And I was like, well, I don't know. So, like, what kind of question is that? And I was like,
I went through the same thing with my brother. We went through the same thing with my brother. Like,
and I'm like,
dude, you have to use
soap.
on
I'm
your
like,
whole
I can't
body.
just use and he goes, I can't just use he called it a flufa. And he's like, I can't just use the flufa with the water. And I was like, no. So we saved a copay and
That's good. Cheers to that.
my spouse at the time started supervising showers to ensure that there was indeed soap being used and problem solved. but like nobody in my Facebook, nobody on my Instagram, I didn't really use Snapchat back then, but nobody on my social media or like those outside sources knew that I had any of those struggles. They only saw like the family pictures or like my child made an A today, or they only saw the good things, the highlights of it. And it's because I felt so pressured because nobody else on social media or nobody else with the amount of children I have or nobody else in my situation shows those dirty, grimy times. And it made me feel super secluded, and it made me feel super alone as a parent, as a mother, and just as me. And I almost said a word. And it was just, I don't know, it wasn't good. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, and I don't want you to relate to that. I want you to know it's cool beans in my book if your son don't wash with soap. Like, I mean, it's not like
you might want to check on that.
But
now you know.
But you're not alone, and it's okay. It's okay to say, "Oh my gosh, this happened to us today," because it's a funny you can look back on in a year when your Facebook memories pop up. And sorry to go off on a tangent. That was a lot of the basis of the normalized normal for me, was because for so long I made everything look picture perfect. I mean, not even my parents would know half this stuff that wasn't perfect, because I was afraid to share it. I was afraid to look underprepared, or like I wasn't a good parent. Like I felt like it made or break the fact that I was a good parent or something.
Well, I completely understand. I mean, you know, I went through a very similar situation. I was in a previous relationship where my significant other at the time had 4 other kids, and so I all of a sudden went from a mom of 1 baby to a mom of 5 kids, and overnight. I mean, pretty much overnight, which looking back, I now know to wait a little while, but you know, but lessons learned. And I mean, that's another thing that like I wanted to, we moved into this fast, but it's all going to be perfect. And so I wanted to portray on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, on all of my social medias, and to my friends that I did still talk to, that everything was perfect. Everything was fine. I've got this under control, you know, and
working it.
Did I have everything under control? Absolutely not. Things progressed in that relationship in a not so great way. I learned a lot during that time though. And I think that it's cliche, but I wouldn't be who I am without having gone through that. Some people gotta learn the hard way, I guess.
Same.
But yeah, I mean, I never posted the bad things. I posted the cute family pictures we took, and I posted the, doing the hair for crazy hair day. Little do you know what happened that morning before we actually got the crazy hair done. I mean, I didn't post that part. I posted I'm such a good mom. I got them to the bus stop on time despite the tears and things thrown across the living room.
Yeah.
That happened, earlier that morning. So, or, the fighting with, no, you have to wear your school uniform or whatever, and the screaming and the crying, and those things are not always fun to talk about at the time, but it is something that so many people go through, and they think they go through it alone, and that's not okay either.
It's real. It's real.
It is real. And we're not saying that, like, these 2 relationships that were all bad. They weren't. And that every relationship does have struggles.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That is normal. That is, that's what we're here to talk about.
Unicorns and butterflies.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, bubbles, but then I had flashbacks to bubbles on the floor, so unicorns and butterflies is better. But
bubbles inside on the floor. Jackson boy.
But every relationship goes through those times where you're like, this sucks, and sometimes you can work through it, and sometimes you can't, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Working through something is, we both tried, and it didn't end up working out. We did put the effort in, we put the effort in. But if it doesn't end up working out, that's also okay. You don't have to pretend like everything is perfect all the time.
So I made a post recently on my social media about, what did you just say?
You don't have to pretend everything's perfect?
Nope. It's okay if it didn't work out. It's okay to leave. It's okay to, like, basically it's okay to, like, to step away. And I just want to touch on that for a second, although that doesn't really go with our normalized normal thing. But
well, it does, because it's something people go through. It's normal.
It took a while for me to know that when something, you can work through things. You can fight through things. You can fight like hell, man. I mean, do it. I don't recommend not doing it, because in the end, after you fight, at least you can look back and say, I tried my hardest. And that goes with anything that you try to do. But I think so many people are afraid to leave a situation because they're afraid of what other people will think, even though they know it's what's best for them or their children or their situation or their health or whatever. And like, it's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be a lot of ugly steps ahead. And by ugly, I mean like crying or tantrums, or not just you, but your children, or
especially if there are kids involved.
And it's not necessarily in regards to a relationship per se in general, but anytime, a job, friendships. I mean, when you know that is no longer serving you in a healthy way and in a building way and in a growing way, and you have to step back and kind of reflect and be like, what's going on here? What do I need to change? Like, something I always try to, what is God teaching me in this moment? Like, bad or good? What am I supposed to be learning from this? And sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's let it go. Sometimes it's pick your battles. Sometimes it's smile and say okay. Sometimes it's cut it off. Sometimes it's you don't need this anymore. Sometimes it's work through it. But it's not easy. It's not picture perfect. It's not always amicable. It's not. I have a hair on my face. Sorry, I keep like looking like a crackhead. But it's, and I don't even remember where I was going with this exactly. Basically it's going back to that, not everything is picture perfect, and not everything is going to go the way that you think that others think you should, or that you have to continue living your life a specific way to prove to people who don't necessarily always matter or aren't in your shoes that you can do it. Because it's not worth having unhappy children. It's not worth yelling and screaming. It's not worth having anxiety attacks. It's not worth having heart attacks. It's not worth, like, it's not worth sacrificing your well-being and your soul and your mental peace. And I think that's also one of the reasons why you and I are just so passionate about mental wellness, mental
health and wellness. Yeah, it was
mental
like
healthness.
mental healthness.
Because we've gone through the ringer with so much crap that we've had to decide what we want and what we need, and sometimes those two things aren't the same. And it's not okay whether you want it to be or not. It's not okay to choose those things for the better good of the public eye of what you think they want to see. That was deep.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think that all of that, yes. I mean, all of that. And I know that just...
Can we have a hug?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even like hugs, but I needed a hug.
I mean, it just brings me back to like thinking about, you know, that past relationship and for how long I did try and stick it out and stay, because I was like, well, what am I gonna do? The kids all, you know, they're used to this and it's gonna disrupt everything. I mean, their grades and their sleep patterns and their mental wellness. And you know, and so you as a parent, you take on so many other people's problems that sometimes it's hard. Yeah, sometimes it's hard for you to think about your own and to not think about the big picture. You know, sometimes you have to think about the small picture. And it's just like when you're on an airplane and you got to put your mask on first before you can help your kids or whatever, the people around you. You know, you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself, because if you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of anybody else. And that's something that we didn't do.
No.
For years.
I was like, how many times have you?
I mean, I'm not getting goosebumps on my cheeks, but it's real.
That was super cute. That was from Johnson County. I'm so proud.
Got a little bit of, you know, a little bit of Johnson, a little bit of Parker.
I need a refill.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I give like a non-shout out to my favorite wine?
Your favorite little cheap wine?
This is my favorite cheap wine ever. I don't know how well y'all can see this. It's my Sutter Home Moscato. I buy the, is this a liter? Did we decide if is this a liter?
I think so. Yeah, it's basically like 2 bottles.
Bottle and a half, actually. I've counted glasses.
But our glasses are like,
Okay,
the
okay.
6 ounce pours.
But it's like $9 at Albertsons. I think it's like $7 or $8 at the Walmart.
Can we get like a Sutter Home sponsorship? That would be great.
She drinks Pinot Grigio.
Yep.
Wait,
Usually.
How did you say?
Pinot Grigio?
It's not Pinot?
Anyway, so she has all these words that I make fun of her for.
I have a dictionary of my own.
Anyways, what we're saying is that, yeah, you can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself. And that we both didn't do that neither one of us did that for years. I mean, for
I think
years.
for the majority of our friendship, we have struggled with that.
Yeah, we struggled with it for, a myriad of reasons, like, over the course of our friendship. I mean, at the beginning, we didn't have kids.
Right.
And so...
I did.
Well, yeah, duh. You had Addie, but I meant babies.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as Addie got older, it was easier to kind of get back into bodybuilding and to do that. And so we started doing that.
Yeah.
And then we started having more babies. And I had babies. So once we kind of stepped back into motherhood, that as for young kids, like it took away from a lot of the things that we did for ourselves. I mean,
yes.
I know I touched on it a little bit last week, but I was traveling around the world competing in jiu-jitsu, world champion in jiu-jitsu, national champion, and then I was stepping into MMA. I had my first MMA fight scheduled for November. And guess what I found out also was going to happen in November? I was going to have a baby. So around the time that I scheduled it in February, I also found out I was pregnant. And so that put all of that on the back burner. And I really did a good job, taking care of the pregnancy and everything and doing what I was supposed to do. But as soon as, we continued working out until about 6 months or so, and then I was told I had to chill out a little bit. But after Wyatt was born, I went back into it a little bit, but it was really hard for me to keep that same schedule and that same regimen. I didn't have a lot of help from my significant other at the time, and so I was, I was exhausted. It was too hard, and I made, all the excuses in the book, and even when my body was ready to go back, I didn't go back because I had all these excuses and reasons why I couldn't do it. Looking back, that I don't want to say it's a regret, but it is something that maybe I should have tried to prioritize myself a little bit better at the time. But you should in one hand and whatever in the other. So we can't go back, but what we can do now is move forward. And so we've finally gotten back to a place where we are able and willing and ready to get our mental and our physical health in check. And
to me, my physical health reflects so much on my mental health. I might have to go get him some milk.
We might have a baby waking up, so we might have to pause.
But one of the things that when I started bodybuilding, first of all, when I started lifting a weight in the gym, when I started walking into a gym,
little 87-pound bobblehead.
My mama used to call me bobblehead.
Her head has stayed the same size, but
it was disgusting. Looking back on it now, it's disgusting, and that's another episode for another time. I'm glad we can laugh at that now.
It only took 8 years, or
maybe longer.
10, yeah.
I developing the struggles that I had developed at that time, I'm gonna rewind it back to back in my dance days, and I think it was 7th grade maybe, and we did a dance to a song by Tracy Chapman, who's freaking phenomenal, called Change, and we all started out in these black velvet dresses, fitted dresses. It was one of my favorite choreographers, Leslie, she had choreographed it.
So good.
Right? And it talked about, the chorus is if you knew that you would die today, saw the face of God in love, would you change? And it's basically just talking about, would you change who you are if you knew that your final days were coming? And I think that honestly, okay, Goosey's.
Yep.
Resonates a lot with what we're talking about. But so we started out these black velvet dresses, and then at the end, Goosey's again. Through the last chorus, we had like different groups of us that the black dress came off, and we were wearing these bright pastel colored dresses underneath, and they each had like what we changed about ourselves, and mine was more laid back. And at that time, which it fits me so well now, I would change the fact that I wish I could be more laid back. But at that time, all three of my dance teachers, actually, I think even Teresa at the front desk was even like, I don't think it's possible for you to be more laid back. It's like, you need a different dress, because we were supposed to embody that in our dancing, like going from too uptight to more laid back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Okay. So I forget that I'm supposed to talk to the camera sometimes. So throughout this dance, we're embodying these emotions and these feelings, and the dresses come off, and then at the end of the dance, we're all sitting at the end of the stage with our feet dangling off, and we're like hugging, and it's like so great and whatever, and we've like all these things about what we have changed about ourselves are like shining through us. And like I said, they were like, there's no way you could be more laid back. And they seriously tried to fight hard with our costume maker to like get me a new dress for something else to not say more laid back. And
I don't like this. I'm like mad about it.
Like, can you believe that though? Like me, like super laid back. Could you believe that aspect about like not drinking wine? Could you imagine non-wine drinking?
No, but I feel like if that's something that you recognize in yourself that you need to work on, then that was a good enough reason to have that dress on.
Well, I didn't choose what it was.
Oh,
like
it was just, I was mad for no reason. It's my communication is key.
Like it was just they just like put like happier.
Right. So they didn't actually let you choose.
No, like it was just sizes, medium here, small here, whatever. So but that was the dress that I got. And so the reason I bring that up is because after I had Addison, I think that becoming a parent, becoming a mom, obviously changes a whole bad word things of you. Like it
Truckload.
That's a fire truck and load.
Fire truck and load.
But it changes so much about you. And I developed, looking back at it now and knowing and learning what I've gone through, I didn't develop postpartum depression. I developed postpartum anxiety. I was a nervous fit to leave her anywhere out of my sight. I would stay at daycare with her for like the first 30 to 45 minutes before I had to go to daycare, because I was just like, are y'all gonna watch her sleep? Are y'all there when she eats? Like, are you feeding her? Are y'all like, how, like, I was just more than the normal first time mom stuff. And that progressed as I got older. More things became out of my control. I was a young mom. I was not able to finish school. I had received a scholarship to TCU for dancing, and I wasn't even able to pursue that because I had a baby. And just so many things that just I lost control over, and I felt the need to overcompensate by controlling other things around me. And now I lost myself. Where was I going with this?
I'm not a mind reader. Just getting, I don't know where you're finally getting back to like taking.
Mental wellness, mental healthness.
Yeah.
So I developed really bad anxiety, and sorry, I felt like that backstory was needed. So
that's what we're here for.
And I ignored it for a long time. It came back in forms of eating disorder. It came back in forms of very, very, very prevalent OCD. Those two were the biggest components there. And when I stepped into that gym for the first time, my trainer, Junior, shout out, I miss you. First of all, he laughed at me because I was wearing the Chuck Taylors and I was not even wearing actual sneakers.
They're not bad for lifting though.
Well, not whenever you've never stepped foot in the gym, okay? Like, he's like, those are for like leg days. But so I learned that exerting myself again in another way. I didn't have dance anymore, but I was able to exert myself. I was able to emote myself. I crave heavy lifting for that soul matter. The more you release, the more you receive. And
oh, that's good. We should put that aside.
But I learned from bodybuilding and from being in the gym a lot about physical health, a lot about physical wellness. I learned how to take care of my body. But one of the biggest ways you take care of your body is by self-love and really amazing mental wellness. Oh my God.
This is really only our second glass of wine, I swear. I like it though, healthness.
Yeah. But, and so in order to keep myself growing in the gym, physically and mentally, in order to know that I could go squat 245 my next time, or I could max out, or I could set a new PR, or I can keep going for 2 more reps, or I can keep breaking shit. So, like I learned that I had to nurture my mentality. I had to nurture myself from the inside too. Because when you don't have that confidence, when you have that self-doubt, when you have that that deprivation of like confidence, you don't got shit, man.
Right. Absolutely. And I know, like, I've been here for you for, like we said, over 10 years, but I've seen so many different, like, transformations. And then I know that when... Don't make me cry. When
Don't say it.
Don't even look at me. No.
Stop looking at me, Schwan.
But I know I can see a difference whenever you got really, really into bodybuilding. When you joined the groups, when you met Swole, when you met Sean, when you met, all the people that were so important, and TJ, and all the people. Then,
sorry.
I know, but those people had such an impact in your life, and I know that they probably taught you so much, not just about physical fitness, because yes, that's important, but it was more than that, and it was, I mean, life lessons on top of fitness lessons, on top of mental wellness lessons, and I know, like, you did relax in a lot of other areas of your life. I mean, you left me with Addison for the first day of first grade because
it's true. I had a bodybuilding meetup.
No, and it was good for all of us though.
It was.
I mean, Addie and I really bonded, and you got to go do something that was really healthy for you. I wasn't saying that in like a bad way. Like,
no, I know.
Her first day, but
I know.
It was great, and it was a huge transformation for you because there were so few times that you would take any time for yourself before that. I mean, we planned a trip to Austin. To we were going for American Idol, right? Yeah, we went to Austin for American Idol.
This is embarrassing.
No, I'm not gonna embarrass you. But we went to Austin for an American Idol tryouts, and it was a blast.
It was like 2010? No, it was like 2011.
Yeah,
it was 2010. She was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it was like August. Yeah, it was August 2010.
Yeah, I think it was. I had just graduated high school. And we went down to Austin anyways for the American Idol tryouts. My family took us...
Well, we went to...
Or no, it was before that we went to the
Lost Pines?
The Lost Pines.
We went that weekend.
I think it was a different weekend. It was the first time you went with us to the Lost Pines. And you had like... calling everybody like, okay, so you're gonna have Addison this day, you're gonna have Addison this day, and then I need you guys to call me whenever you do the handoff. I need to know. I mean,
I had the daycare teacher's cell phone number because I was blowing her up,
calling everybody constantly. And I don't mean that to say that to embarrass you, but seeing that, and then it slowly get better just as she kind of gotten more like a habit of like, okay, this is okay. But then once you got into bodybuilding and you found another thing that you could really focus your attention on, then it kind of, I think helped maybe alleviate some of that anxiety, some of that stress.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I could physically release it too.
Yes.
And that was one of the things I know, like with jiu-jitsu and dance. Dance is an emotional sport for me anyways, but jiu-jitsu too though, like just that physical, that input output,
exertion,
and it's like my body craved that so much.
I still get like grouchy and like whatever if like I don't get to work out or do anything kind of like physical. Like
yes,
I have to release some endorphins because happy people don't kill their husbands.
Carol Baskin. You asking for a basket?
Am I Elle Woods or Carol Baskin? I don't know. It depends on the day. No, I'm just kidding.
We need shirts.
We do need shirts. Endorphins
Totally.
make people happy. Happy people don't kill their husbands. Okay, anyway.
You asking for a basket?
I like it.
But yeah, I think that's super. Yes, it's super important to find your outputs, to find your inputs, not those inputs, but those are healthy. But to find your self-care habits and to find your self-care routines, no matter what they are. Like some people read a book and it's like all the self-care they need. And
yeah, I don't get that.
I wish I could read some Harry Potter and
I read like 2 lines and I'm like of any book. No offense to whoever, I can't think of the writer. Anyway, no offense to authors. I just can't read. I mean, I can read. I just
don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I can't enjoy.
No, I get like my eyes get tired and like it just puts me right to sleep.
Well, you probably need your glasses. Where are your glasses?
I don't know.
Self-care.
Like
Self-care, Mackenzie, self-care.
See, and I still struggle with it. So I guess to kind of circle back to, we kind of got off tangent talking about, why we think physical fitness and stuff is so important. But to go back to it, and we lost a lot of that part of ourselves. We got really into it. We saw the progress that it had in our lives and in our mental health.
Absolutely.
And we let it, slip onto the back burner. Like we let it kind of go back into the background. And instead of prioritizing our mental health and our physical health, like we just kind of, whatever, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it on Monday. We'll start on Monday. We'll start next month. Like, let's get through Cinco de Mayo first, and then let's, whatever it was.
Yeah.
There was always an excuse to wait and to do it later.
Sports, this.
Yeah, and the kids' activities and that, and I have to put them to bed first, and then I'm tired. I don't want to go. But we know once we get into the habit that it really does help us. And
look forward to it.
And then you start to look forward to it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not at first, because the moment I step onto a treadmill, I'm like, I hate my life. But, yeah, we also hate cardio, but that's not the part. Once you get into cardio, once you get into the habit, we know like it does help us, and
you start to crave that energy. You crave that feeling. It's a healthy addiction, and that's probably another episode for another day too.
Yeah, your coping mechanism.
Coping mechanism. That's better than addiction. But you crave it. I used to be so excited. I mean, leg days are my favorite. Back days were my next. And I dreaded arm days. I dreaded chest and shoulder.
Oh, see, I love arm days.
No.
And chest. Like, I love being sore.
I got some, winky-dink arms, though. Like...
You didn't used to.
They were winky-dink. I still couldn't even do a push-up. Like,
I can't do a pull-up.
I had some pew-pews. I did have some nasty
pew-pew.
A pew-pew. But, I looked forward to those days. I looked forward to those workouts. I looked forward to maxing out. I looked forward to new implementation of exercises. I looked forward when she would come train with me, and you tried to teach me the jiu-jitsu once, and it jiu-jitsu-snowed. I'm flexible and all, but I don't have that kind of manpower in me. But
well, maybe we were drinking. I don't know. But, I mean, jiu-jitsu is not all about, strength and everything. It's about, leverage and fulcrum points. And, I mean, there's so much more. We'll try again another time.
Fulcrum?
Fulcrum points. You've got a scale on a balance, and there's that little point in the center where it goes like that.
Oh.
That's a
fulcrum. Photosynthesis word.
I told you, I got my dictionary out, No. But anyway, just to kind of circle back, we have let those things go, and instead of just sitting here and pretending like we had we've been doing it all along and that we're professionals, we're not. What we know is what we've done in our lives and what has worked for us and what we haven't been doing and what we know we need to get back to, and sharing with you like our journey about getting back to it. And just like we were saying at the beginning of this episode, it doesn't have to be picture perfect. We are not picture perfect right now, and that's okay. And we're trying to normalize our normal with ourselves,
Reestablish it.
and
for sure.
reestablish a more normal routine, like, but in a different sense. But
You said it, no.
I said what? I don't know what I said, apparently. I said a more normal. Okay, well, I meant to say establish a more normal.
Maybe this should be the last class.
Oh,
that was good. Oh, God.
oh. But anyway.
Reestablish a normal. God. Okay, if y'all know what I thought she said, please comment, because I'm dying to know if I'm crazy or not.
Me too. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this. Anyway.
You're welcome.
I didn't need to put blush on today, I guess. The whole point of all of this, I mean, this episode is like, we're not perfect. Things are not picture perfect, and they don't have to be. And they're not gonna be. As hard as you try, you're gonna miss out on those moments that are perfect in real life.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna, don't try to get that perfect photo for Instagram or whatever. Put that picture of your adorable little kid doing whatever it was that you thought was adorable, and put it on there. I don't care about your messed up couch pillows. I don't care about your laundry in the background. I don't care about the goldfish crumbs that we just swept under the couch to make this video.
Moments?
Yeah, just
The moment.
the moments are what are important. And getting back to healthy routines are important for sure. But it is a journey. It is not a race, and you do not have to be perfect today.
One step at a time, day by day, sometimes hour by hour, minute by minute, however you need to do it. Her way of doing it is different than my way of doing it. I can plan things out for the week and be fine. Sometimes she needs a 5 minute by 5 minute increment of things.
That's true. I like to say I'm more spontaneous.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Works too.
Right? And
Yeah,
say it?
I think so.
But like, sometimes I need a minute by minute.
Well, and sometimes she needs to be a little bit more spontaneous. But that's why we work together. That's why we learn from each other and grow with each other.
Absolutely.
And we help each other. And, well, I mean, I'm gonna get all touchy-feely again, but, I'm grateful that we're doing this together and that we have each other in our lives. And
Same.
so, you guys, let us know. Let us know.
What is your normal?
What your normal is. Send us a message. Our email address will be in the link underneath this video. Am I doing it right? Am I doing the Vanna White? It'll be at the bottom of this video, but it is Allie and Mackenzie at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. You can, if you have us on Facebook, like if you're friends on Facebook, feel free to shoot us a message.
Shoot us a message on our page.
You can also, actually what might be better is just to DM our Instagram.
Yeah. DM our Instagram, message the Facebook page, you can email us. It doesn't matter. However is your preferred way of reaching out. We check all of them, or at least I do.
I do too.
And
in the morning I wake up and I'm like,
we would love to hear from you guys. We want to know what your normal is. We want to know what your goals are. I mean, share with us some of the goals that you have that you've been putting on the back burner that you want to get back to. Maybe we can help you kind of figure out a plan.
Or things you want to do that you never tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. If there's anything that we can ever, give you advice on or help, I mean, by no means are we experts, but we would love to chat. And just like we said last week, we want to build this community.
We want to get to know you.
We want to get to know you guys. We want to really have a
relationship
with our followers, not just shoot out these videos and then talk about whatever we want to talk about. We
Yeah.
want to talk about what you guys want to talk about too.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think it helps us relate to you guys too when we know that like what we're doing is relatable or what we talk about is relatable, because I think that's also empowering a little bit, if that makes.
I know that just this video and last week's video were really, I mean, I haven't been so excited about it in anything really in so long. Like, since I signed up for school 2 semesters ago and like paid off what I owed and like spent a bunch of money to go back to school. I've never been that excited to spend that much money ever. But
books you didn't need.
Right, I didn't need those books. So don't buy your books until at least the second day of class, because they lie. But no. But I felt really, really elated and like really excited about doing this, and I hope that you guys want to do this with us, because we can't do it without you.
Yes.
I mean, we can sit here and chat. We've been doing that for 10 years, so
True.
we want to talk to you guys, and just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
Nothing is ever gonna be perfect.
No.
We want to normalize normal.
Yep.
We want to normalize our normal, your normal, whoever's normal. They're not the same, but everything is okay.
Don't compare your normals.
I don't want to say everything is okay, but like in general.
In the end, it'll all be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end.
I like that too. Yeah. But chaos happens. I mean, we're excited to share this with you guys, and we want to hear from you. So please shoot us some messages.
Yes, we would love that.
Yes.
Is that loud?
No.
Okay.
It's the same.
Right.
What are we gonna do?
Everything.
Are we gonna cheers or no?
Yeah. Cheers and then
We might not have it all together, but together we have it all.